Hi, today is Friday, July 15th. My name is Chrissie, and I have been battling for the past 6 days on a juice cleanse. So I've done like a successful 3 full days on the juice cleanse, and then I did 2 successful days, except I would eat at night like a little bit. So those clearly maybe aren't successful, but whatever. The point is I didn't have normal meals. Um, and during that time, I first started the cleanse just because I was having a lot of pain under my right rib, and I think the camera right now it's kind of like mirrored, so this will look like I'm touching my left, but it's actually my right in real life. Uh, anyway, I was having like pain, like to where I almost think it's like liver or gallstones or something weird. Like it kind of would radiate to the back, and I've had a kidney stone once years and years ago, so it kind of felt like that. Um, point is I was eating super unhealthy. We were traveling a lot, and I just food is my coping drug. So um, anyway, it kind of scared me. I'm 30. I have two young kids. I'm married, so in my mind, I just think okay, this is it. Like, I'm so unhealthy. I'm going to get a diagnosis soon, whatever. And the worst part is that I'm so addicted to food, you know, that I'm almost like, well, whatever. Everybody gets fat when you're 30. Just give up or you're going to die anyway at some point. Like, those thoughts, which are not healthy, normal thoughts, I don't think, but it's like that's how ingrained in this lifestyle that I am with food. So, um, I was motivated for my cleanse, which I didn't really set a time on. I didn't really think about it a lot. I did it mainly just to kind of get rid of those symptoms and clean out and like feel healthy again and to lose my belly. Because the only place, and I'll take pictures later and have it set up, but the only place I actually store weight is in my belly. So I'll just show real quick. Um, my legs are pretty thin, um, and my arms are thin. There's not any body fat there, but my belly, like, this is embarrassing. I wasn't planning this. My belly, you can see it's kind of like not proportionate. The way it hangs out here, it's just not proportionate. I do have really high hips, though, and I've always kind of blamed it on that. The top of my hip bone is actually right here. So if you really look at that, I really only have like a top ab above my hip bone, and I just don't know that that's normal. I feel like most girls have longer torsos. I'm all leg. So anyway, I am the point is I've heard that like carrying the weight in the stomach is like the worst place you can carry it because it's like the biggest symbol of poor health, and that's more depressing because you know whatever. I kind of wish I could just like move it around a little bit. Uh, anyway, so that's a little bit about me. The cleanse was good. It's just that I'm such an addict to sugar. Really, it's really sugar. I mean, there's a little bit of caffeine though, but my only source of caffeine is really iced tea, just regular, black tea, or like Pepsi, which is so stupid, and I'm so embarrassed to even say that. But yes, I'm addicted to soda because that dumb industry has made it like crack. So really when I have like the withdrawals, like a lot of people would say it's caffeine. For me, I feel like it's definitely a little caffeine, but it's mostly like the caffeine sugar combination and the like ridiculous amounts of sugar that I'm eating. So, or drinking, I should say. Anyway, so the juice cleanse was kind of a success and kind of a failure. It was um, a success in that I did notice benefits and things like that right away, but a failure in that it wasn't really planned out or thought out, and I didn't do as well as I'd like to do on it, or for as long. That being said, I've decided to um, go now. So last night or yesterday, I ate food, and I still juiced, but I ate food, and it was horrible food too. It wasn't even. It's awful. I mean, I ate pizza and then I had Chipotle, so I'm done for. Like my body is like, what are you doing? Um. Anyway, my plan now is to um starting tomorrow, go straight juice again from morning, to night for 21 days. Um, but today, last night in bed, my plan was to start today, and then I woke up today and I already ate, and now I have a bowl of ice cream over there on the counter, and I like it to get a little bit not warm, but like more melted. And I got this like Reese's peanut butter. Oh my gosh. Okay, so anyway, clearly I have a problem, but I've had it in the freezer for like a month, and now that like when you tell your body like, oh, I'm going to cleanse now, you instantly like, I just think about the ice cream way too much. So, um, I was thinking about it this morning and I'm kind of like pacing back and forth and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, just throw it in the trash can, get over it. But whatever. The point is, sometimes like you get so sick off something that you're more motivated. So obviously I don't want to get sick, but sometimes the ice cream does make me sick, which just goes to show like how addicted we are. Like, why would you eat something that, okay, if cucumbers made me sick, if cucumbers made me ill, uh, I wouldn't be sneaking cucumbers. You know what I mean? I'd be like, no thanks, I don't do cucumbers. But ice cream makes me ill, and I'm like, but it's okay. Like, I don't have plans tomorrow. It's cool. um, for that like immediate taste gratification. So anyway, it's I don't know. I have a problem. So I'm kind of making this like it's weird because I wasn't going to tell anyone because a big part of my cleanse is that my husband is like uber super Christian and a believer, and I've always called myself that too. But in the past couple of years, especially since going to college and just having kids, and I think just turning 30, like that age, I don't know. I think there is like something shifted in me a little bit to where I doubt a lot, like a lot. Like I'm almost very cynical about that faith and that faith system. Um, and it's bothering me because we have kids together, and I love my husband, and it's like there's some Bible verse. It's like I believe, help my unbelief, and I feel kind of like that's me right now. And like with everything that because it's weird, like I'll pray, but then I'm like, why am I praying to this thing who's not there, or like every time I go towards a path of like belief, I'm kind of like hit from the side with these like, yeah, but that's not real, right? Or how do you explain this or this suffering or this, or this injustice, whatever. It's like it's no new problem of pain, or it's nothing like that other people haven't dealt with, but it's my own journey and it's my own thing, and I have a hard time, teaching my kids like. Like sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, let's pray before our food." Well, we always pray before our food, but I'm like, okay, and I'm not gross, by the way. Like, I don't know why I'm doing that to my ear when I'm talking to you. So, anyway, sorry, I'll try this. I don't really think I do this in real life. You should really watch yourself on the camera more often and see the weird stuff, gross stuff you do, and it might explain why someone doesn't want to be your friend or something. Anyway, so, so, I read this book about fasting. It's like this book for 3-in-1, and I started it on my 5-day juice cleanse, and it's like a biblical perspective on fasting. And so there's like 3 books or something, and it kind of just has quotes and like different types of fast and why you fast and all of that. And it was interesting. I mean, I can't say that I would really care to read it like on any random Tuesday, but when you're not eating and you can't really like look at the TV or get online or hang out with your friends or even drive down the road because you want everything, it's one of those kind of books. So it kind of keeps you motivated and make you feel like you're not the only one sacrificing food, and it kind of makes you feel like holier than thou for doing it. So I read it, and I learned a lot that I hadn't, previously known about fasting. And they talked about like the importance of the intention of a fast. So like if you're going to start a fast, like, and this is for God, okay? And now remember, my fast wasn't for God. It was for my stomach freaking hurts, and I need to fix myself, and I'm tired of looking fat. I want to feel sexy, and I want to live for my children. So, but that has since shifted, and this book was, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought because my kids are in the background, so I'm making sure they're okay. The book was talking about how important it is to like have a purpose for your fast. Like, this is what I want out of my fast, God, right? So if you're there, like I'm knocking, I'm asking, so I should receive, okay? And it's not about testing God or something weird. It's about like, dude, he says like, and food's such a big deal. And for me, I'm a food addict. Like I wake up, I think about food. I go to bed, I think about food. Some people say, oh, I love chocolate. Like, no, I would actually like, there's been times I've not hung out with people because I'm worried they won't go to where I want to eat. Like, or that I eat a huge meal before I go so that I can eat another huge meal. It's not so I can have a salad there. It's like, if there's just queso in the middle, like I'm stressing and fighting over like getting that dip in queso. Like I have a problem. Okay. And I don't want to raise my kids that way. My kids actually eat very, very healthy. They don't really have sugar or anything. They're 3 and 5, and they had their first like cookie the other night. So I've been very, very strict on like the processed foods and stuff. We haven't been perfect with, on the road and stuff. Sometimes they've had a lot of Chipotle and Panera and stuff like that. But we are really strict with them. But it's getting to that point now where they, like, okay, mommy, you're eating that ice cream stuff. Can I have some too? What is that? Whatever. And I can't be that hypocrite. So it's like either I stop too, or my kids are going to start. And I really don't want my kids to start that on a habitual thing. It's different if they're at a birthday party or it's a celebration, but mommy's got a problem. So the intentional fasting, next time I'll like take notes so that I can be more clear on what I'm trying to say. But it says, like if you set a time, like I'm starting my fast on this day, I'm ending it on this day. This is what I want out of my fast, and these are the rules that I'm going to follow, right? And you make it like a prayer, then you should receive results or have, good things from there. So my goal now is, I shouldn't say my goal, whatever. Okay, if God is real, then I believe that God instructed me for what my goal is. But if he's not real, then it's just in my own head and I'm kind of crazy and I tell myself stuff. So whatever that answer is, I hope to find out on the fast. But the numbers that were given to me or that I created, however you look at it, and they're miserable numbers. So I promise you, like Chrissie would have created like a 5-day fast, right? Maybe 10. But it's a 21-day fast and of juice only. And the worst part is after the 21 days, I'm supposed to go till September 24th on just like plants and seeds and nuts and beans. The thought of that actually just makes me want to like take my life because that sucks. And I've never, ever done anything like that. I'm a meat and potato girl. I'm a whatever I want, whenever I want it kind of girl. So I'm not excited about that. And today is July 15th. So I haven't done the full math, but if I were to start tomorrow on the 16th, 26th, I'd end early August. So I'd have like almost 2 months. It looks like I have to do the math, so I may be totally off, but it feels like I have like 2 months on that diet after the juice fast. So the last juice cleanse, I ended with a pepperoni pizza and a Pepsi. Could it be worse, right? Could my system be any more screwed up because of that? Anyway, but that's what I did. So clearly I'm not good at ending fast. So the fact that this one, like I'd be committed to not even ending it right, I don't know. I guess I could see it. I've never really thought of it this way, but I guess I could see it as being better because I'd be less tempted to like cheat on the juice or quit the juice when I know that like the pizza's still not coming. You know what I mean? Where the harder part would be once I'm on the food, I think. But hopefully by then maybe my palate has changed or I'm just feeling so good. This all seems crazy to me because I just don't see that happening. Like I feel like someone should come knock on my door and check on me sometimes to make sure I'm okay. Anyway, but that's my plan. That's my journey. I was not planning on making this video right now. I was planning on just documenting my bowl of ice cream for the video, but here I am. So next time I will try to do better if anybody does watch this. But the plan for now, and I'm so even conflicted right now, like this whole video I've been thinking about, I'm like, my hands are like this. Like, I'm like, should I be eating this ice cream or not? Like, maybe I shouldn't do it, whatever. But I almost feel like eat the freaking ice cream because you're not going to eat it again. And that's it. So eat it. And if you get sick, then be grateful for getting sick. And if you don't get sick, be grateful for not getting sick and press on. And then my goal for tonight, which I know really, I guess you're supposed to give like a week of like plant food before you start fasting, which I totally think is awesome. But there's also people who I don't think can do that because we have different personalities. So for me, given that I've been juice fasting for 5 days, and then, yeah, I had pizza, which is awful, but I also had more juice last night, and I've got a bunch of like raw spinach, and I got some cucumbers and a bell pepper. So what I'm going to do is after the ice cream today, I'm going to kind of just like drink a bunch of water through the afternoon. And then in the evening, I'm going to have a bunch of like raw spinach, raw cucumber, raw bell pepper, and eat that with some like chia and flax just to kind of get my system some of that so that I know that I don't just have ice cream sitting there for 21 days, unable to digest with juice, right? But instead it's kind of like I've got something in there to move it around. The only other thing I'll allow on the 21 days is some herbal tea, which is obviously not caffeinated because I'm not having any caffeine. So I'm thinking about like just chamomile and lavender and like peppermint tea. Those are two of my favorites, but if anybody knows of any other really good ones, let me know. Um, and then the one thing that I'm really excited about, which I didn't do on my 5 day, was this like veggie broth. So I'm gonna take the pulp of everything I juice, uh, and I'm gonna boil it in water, and then drink the broth that's created from that. So strain the veggies back out and drink the broth. And I've heard that's really good for like getting a lot of the minerals and um, other stuff. I'm not really educated on it, but I'm excited to just have the fact that something could be warm and feel kind of soupy without working the digestive tract or doing anything that I'm trying to avoid doing. Really, really excites me. So those are my options, and that's it. And then obviously like lemon and ginger water or something like that. And I'm gonna try to drink. My mason jars right now are 12 ounces, maybe a little more. I think they're probably like, if you fill it all the way to the top, like 14, and I do fill it all the way to the top. So I'm gonna drink like 4 of those a day, but I'm going to like add 2 more ounces of water to the juice to kind of just dilute it a little bit and maybe make it easier for my body, since it's like an assault of nutrients, on my system. Uh, and then that way I'll have, at least 4 a day. And I think that'll be good just for planning purposes because I juice it all myself. So, it's just a lot of time and stuff. So I think 4 a day. And then the magic number that I read is like 64 ounces of water. I'm going to target that, but I'm also going to kind of go with what feels natural. Uh, yeah. So, that's that. If anyone has any tips or suggestions, one question that I do have is, I was watching Hungry for Change, and there's this, like, I think he's French. There's this guy on there who talks about the toxins in our fat and how they're there, but they're kind of buffered and protected by these cells or something. And when we do this stuff to release them, they're almost like free radicals, and they're crazy because there's nothing to release them through. They have to bind to something. So my concern was, should I be doing like chia seeds with my fast? But then when I think about that, I'm like, well, that doesn't, your digestive system, still has to process chia seeds if you do that. So I don't really know, because I really want to give the system a break, but at the same time, I want the bad stuff to get out of me. I don't just want it to like be going crazy in there. So if anybody knows something about that or can point me in the right direction for that, I'm having a hard time, like when I put it in Google to get the right words to figure out the answer. Anyway, I'm going to keep trying, but uh, wish me luck, and I'm excited. I plan to read a lot of like apologetics stuff and some Bible every day, and have prayer to whoever or whatever God is. I if there's any God that I do believe in, I do believe it's the God of Christianity. So that would be like, who I'm referencing to when I talk about prayer. But, any thoughts or insight would be, awesome to hear. Or if someone else has had a similar journey or has any tips, that'd be really cool. So, thank you.